Machines X and Y produced identical bottles at a constant rate. Machine X, operating alone for 4 hours, filled the part of the production. And then Machine Y, operating alone for 3 hours. So we have the total time divided into two parts, the first in 4 hours, the second in 3 hours. Here A worked, and for this duration, okay, machine X and Y worked. So this is X, this is Y. Now, how many hours would it have taken Machine X operating alone to fill the entire production lot? To answer this question, if we can find out the rate of X, we will have the answer because we know that how much work A has finished in 4 hours, so we can answer that how many hours more would A have taken if A alone had filled the production lot. Similarly, if we knew the rate of Y, we can once again answer the question. Alright, so we need at least one of these two informations to answer the question. Now, keeping that in mind, let's look at these statements. The first statement says X produced 30 bottles per minute. Now, the question does not mention anything about the production lot in terms of number of bottles. So even if we can calculate that how many bottles does X produce in 4 hours, for example 30 bottles in 1 minute, that means in 1 hour 60 bottles, in 4 hours these many bottles, right? That means 7200 bottles. But we do not know that 7200 is what fraction of the total container of the total work, and therefore we do not know that this is what fraction of the total work, and therefore we say that the first statement alone is not sufficient to answer the question. We eliminate option A and D at this stage. The second statement tells us that X produced twice as many bottles in 4 hours that Y produced in 3 hours. Now this is going to be a useful information for us. You see that we have divided the total work in two parts, 4 hours work of X and 3 hours work of Y. Now we know that if Y produced A bottles in 3 hours, then X produced 2A bottles in 3 hours, in 4 hours. That means we know that the total work will be equal to 3A. And now if X can finish 2A bottles in 4 hours, then X will be able to fill 3A bottles in 4 over 2A times 3A, which means in 6 hours. So the second statement alone is sufficient to answer the question because it just gave us the comparison of the work done by X and Y in 4 and 3 hours respectively. Now, because the first alone is not sufficient but the second statement alone is sufficient, therefore the answer should be option B. Thank you so much.